Yes, yes, yes. Hello, everyone. Hello, Facebook community. My name is Rosemary Dominia, the founder of Reaching New Depths Coaching. And this is the August version of Real Talk Self Love to Inspire and Empower. And I can tell you, I am super excited and very honored to introduce my guest for this evening. And he, just meeting him and speaking with him, I can't help it but smile. I feel this good energy in my spirit and in my soul. So let's get at it. He's funny, he's a great storyteller, and he's going to give you some actionable ideas about how to turn uncertainty to your advantage during this COVID-19 pandemic. He went from American Idol reject to motivational speaker, professional poker player, and someone who finally achieved his dream to perform with Ricky Martin in 2018. I am so humbled to and honored again to introduce my guest speaker, William Hung. And here he is. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you.
I can't tell you enough. People are just like, you have William Hung who's going to be your guest? I was like, yeah, he's my guest. So this is going to be an awesome talk. I mean, you inspired me off the bat when I first met you and talked to you about what I do. And you are such a perfect example of bringing in self-love and understanding what that concept is and just
Yeah.
realizing and talking about your struggles openly, your vulnerabilities and things that you've been through. So I can't wait for you to share more about what's been going on. How have you gotten to this point? Before we reach over to what you can offer people during this pandemic, share a little bit
Uh-huh.
of your story.
Sure. Well, back in 2004, I auditioned for American Idol,
Mhm.
and many people are usually curious why I auditioned. So I actually enjoy singing karaoke with my parents since the age of 10 in Hong Kong. Since then, I tried many things in life. I tried some video games, card games, and then during college, when I studied at UC Berkeley, one day I saw this poster for a school talent show. I figured, why not? Let's give it a try. So I studied and watched music videos from Ricky Martin's She Bangs.
The song, hey.
Yeah, and to my great surprise, I won. I actually won a DVD player.
What kind of DVD player? We're going back in the day
Oh,
here. What kind
back in
was
the
it?
day, I forgot. It's so old. But that's what gave me the confidence to audition for American Idol.
Mm. I bet you people who are watching right now are probably asking, and you could just give it in a nutshell. How was it being on that show and the judges that you had?
It was nerve wracking. I wasn't sure why I was so nervous, but back then, perhaps when I look back at it, it was probably because I thought there was a potential for my audition to be seen by millions of people around the world.
Mm, wow. But you had the hardcore judges. You had the original panel, right? That was Randy,
Yeah, Simon
Simon
Cowell.
Cowell. Wow. He looked scary from like a viewer point of view. I was like, oh my God, this guy, he's direct and honest, but sometimes a little, whew, oh man.
Tough, mean, right?
I mean, it looked like it, at least from a viewer point of view of how,
Yeah,
yeah, I would be afraid of him if I were to audition for American Idol. So
yeah.
so coming from that experience of American Idol, so what have you learned from it? Did you experience anything that kind of pushed you down, or did it lift you up?
Ooh, I would say it's a combination of both. In terms of the good things that happened to me was I suddenly had a lot of fans. They were
Mm,
saying like, "Oh, you're so inspirational. You had so much courage to do what you did." But then there is also negative criticism. For example, the one of the news anchor John Beard on Fox would say, "William Hung is the worst singer ever." And then some of the critics said William Hung portrays the biggest Asian stereotypes. So yeah, it was kind of rough in the beginning, and then eventually I had to come to terms with myself that no matter what I do, I won't please everybody.
mm. I mean, you have such a different experience. I mean, being more in the public spotlight. right? That in itself is, it's huge. It's a huge thing. I think some people dream and aspire to want to be in it, right? And it's, but once you have it, I mean, like, you're at least the only person that I know in my community that actually has been there, and on some, on a show that's been, that everybody knows about, right? American.
Yeah.
So through those rough times, through the things you've been through, the way that you've been labeled,
Yes.
how have you worked through that?
Well, I decided that in my life, I had a choice:
Hmm.
live my life with courage, or hide in fear and hope that people will forget about me. And the way I made that choice was when a few days later there was somebody writing an article saying that I committed suicide due to heroin overdose.
Oh my, wow.
Yeah, and the article still exists to this day, and I know he's joking, he wasn't serious, but it really bothered me because I don't like people making up stories about me. So I feel that that's why I needed to be the author of my own story. That's why I took the chance to become an entertainer, even though I know in my heart that I don't have the best singing talent.
Hey, you were being authentic. That's what it sounded like. You were owning who you are as a
Yeah.
person, making this experience despite what other people are saying. I think that's the hard part in this kind of journey of self-love and owning yourself, is not giving into what other people might think about you or what they will think about you.
Yes.
Right. And that's, I think that's really interesting how you're, I'm not interesting, but very powerful how you were able to not let that affect you.
Oh, thank you.
It actually helped you,
Yes.
and you took that perspective and you grew from there.
Yes.
You grew from there. So you're a motivational speaker. How did this come about?
Well, initially, I just thought that I need to put my version of my story out there during my interviews and when I meet other influential people, like other singers, actors, actresses, politicians, whatever, right? So I feel like I had to put my version of the truth out there. And then as time went by, I realized that I could make it even bigger impact from
Mm.
speaking compared to just entertaining. And the reason I know that is because sometimes there's a few people after every live speech that I've done, they would walk up to me and they would say, "Oh my God, William, thank you so much for sharing this." It's like, and then they would like rush to give me hugs, and that's an amazing feeling of joy that I couldn't find anywhere else.
No, I love that. So you were living your passion, and that
Yeah.
was able to bring you something even more than what you thought of. I think that's a
Yes.
beautiful thing to say. So I know we talked earlier, and this is where the conversation is going. We are going through a time that is very uncertain. I mean, the
Yes.
pandemic has hit many unexpected things. I think a lot of people are feeling the personal struggles with it.
Yes.
So what would be, your advice right now to people who are struggling with transitioning in jobs, losing a job, trying to find themselves? What advice would you give them?
Ooh, I would say that the, it'll be very cliche for me to just tell people to go chase their dreams. And I still believe in chasing my own dreams, but I need to do it in an authentic way. I need to do it from in the right place, right? So the first thing is that if you're a small business and you're really struggling to just keep the lights on, there's hope available. There's help available. So go talk to Small Business Association for grants and loans. Go reach out to your local nonprofit organizations, and don't give up hope, right? Because the first thing is to get through this pandemic first. If you have to take a loan, you take a loan, right? You have to get through this pandemic first. Give yourself a chance, right? So that's the first thing. If you just lost your job, I, I I just learned that my mom could actually get laid off from the sheriff's department, which is unheard of because if it's
Wow.
possible for this pandemic, it doesn't happen, right? So she's been working there for almost 10 years now. She enjoys what she's doing. As an administrative staff. And like, what? How did I get? What happened? Right? And then now with that, that just with that news, realize there is no safe job. There is no such thing as 100% security, right?
Mm.
So that's the place I'm coming from. Like yeah, if you're about to lose your job, think about starting to build your side hustle on the side. Figure out a way to get through this. What are you good at? And it's funny that my mom actually told me, hey, maybe I should go back to doing math tutoring. I don't think that's something that I'm considering right now because I'm doing very well with personalized shout outs on Cameo. I learned how to do like stock investing. So yeah, so I think that I don't need to go through go consider tutoring yet. But hey, if you have to get through this, then find a way to get through this, whatever it takes.
Mm.
That's the place I'm coming from, right? Once you get that settled, like once you keep the lights on, you can live a comfortable life. Then we can talk about chasing your dream.
Gotcha, gotcha. So I'm gonna dig a little bit deeper with you because
Of course, of
this is
course.
what I do. And we know we talked about this right before we went live, but we talked a lot about deeper transformative work.
Uh-huh.
Working with ourselves, and this could be an opportunity for people to really look at that. So if someone came up to you and said, how, William, how do I change my life? How do I go for my dreams? What do I do on a daily basis to do that? What kind of advice would you give this person?
Oh, I would say that spend some time doing like meditation and then the visualization. That for me, what works for me is I use an app called Prime Mind. I'm not affiliated with them by any, so I'm just sharing this because it works for me. So it's some kind of guided meditation on topics like resilience, creating your own vision, sticking with it, right? Believing in yourself, things like that, right?
Mm.
So by having that kind of morning routine, it gets my mind in the right place before I start my day.
Nice, nice. So did your routine change for you when this pandemic had started? What, like
Uh,
the kind of self-love you bring to your
yeah, I actually struggle with depression myself. I'm not immune to it because I'm someone that really crave human connection. That's why I'm doing I was doing really well with live speaking events or playing live poker or showing up in live events in general because I crave human connection in person.
mm,
But and that when that's taken away from me, I feel like there were times where I thought like the world is about to come to an end. But I'm very fortunate and grateful to have one of my dear friend and mentor. Her name is Jacqueline Peterson, and she really helped me dig out of it. Like she told me, hey, why don't you try reframing your negative thoughts into more empowering thoughts? And then the way she helped me reframe this particular negative thought, the world is coming to an end. She said, how about the world will continue to evolve because that's what it is.
that's it. It's powerful. It's powerful to shift your perspective. It
Yeah.
That's a very can you repeat that one more time of what your statement was before and then after you reframed it?
Yes. Yes. So the limiting belief that I had was that the world is coming to an end, and the reason I had that belief is because I live in Los Angeles, and back around at the end of May, there were after the death of Mr. George Floyd,
Mm.
there were a lot of riots going on near where I live. It was very scary. I would see like images of like stores, the windows get shattered, stuff gets stolen, right? And it's like only a few miles from where I live, right? Very scary. And I say, okay, well, if is this the world that I'm going to be dealing with? I mean, why work so hard chasing my dream towards my vision if the world is going to be that way?
Mm. Interesting.
So that's why I had that limiting belief, and then in terms of shifting it, it would be like the world is continuing to evolve, and she's right. The world is continuing to evolve. Now that part is over. Now we're focusing again on finding cure, finding a way to mitigate what the whole thing. Yeah.
Wow. Powerful. Okay, I'm gonna check one thing. Let's take a moment. Let me see if anyone's commented on the Facebook Live.
Of course.
Let's see here. I see a lot of highs. And that's so powerful. Let's see what else we have here. Wow. All right. I mean, I think people are starting to come on, so we have a little bit more viewers coming in. This is awesome. So, what would your top advice be? So, three things you would give to
Uh-huh.
people right now, like
Hmm.
three easy, manageable steps. Let's
Of
say
course.
someone coming at this for the first time, like, you know what, I want to start changing things during
Yep.
this time. I'm tired of feeling anxious. I'm tired of being scared.
Hmm.
What can I do? So, three easier manage, like smaller, I should
Of
say
course.
easier, but smaller steps to
Sure.
take.
Sure. The first one is to avoid comparing yourself with others. So when you we always want to learn from people that are more successful than us, but we have to find a balance. We don't want to always think about, oh, this guy, this amazing marketer makes like six figures right now. I'm never as good as him or her. Therefore, I should be ashamed. I'm a total failure. You're not. Everybody's journey is different, right? I'm not one of those marketers, all right? So but I don't feel bad about it because I want to start from a place of doing what I love first, and then let the money come to me that way.
I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
And then the second one is to take personal responsibility for your own progress. Even though we don't want to compare yourself with others, I think one of my biggest strengths is to being honest with myself. Like, let's say that, hey, I want to be the next successful gaming content creator. This is true, right? That is what I want to do. But I had to honestly ask myself, what kind of effort have I put into to doing this? And it's not just being glued to the computer playing a game like an addiction, like a drug addiction. It's
Mhm.
more like being very intentional. Okay, I'm gonna play a couple hours. I'm gonna create some videos for it to help people, and then maybe spend some time doing outreach, spend some time for self care, and then going back to the creating more gaming content.
Okay, nice.
And then finally, the last one is to how to say it. So I mentioned so let's review the first two. The first one is to avoid comparing yourself with
Mhm.
others. The second one is to take personal responsibility for your own progress. And the third one is find the best way to help others. Always find the best
Mm,
way to help others.
love
So like when I do like interviews like this one, I'm already in my mind. I'm already thinking, okay, how can I repurpose what I'm sharing, how or the way I'm sharing it, so that it can help your audience.
that. I love that. I love how you bring it out of the individual and back into the community of how we can contribute and really help each other through a hard time. These
Yeah.
are great. So avoiding comparing yourself to others, so acknowledging who you are and doing what you love, being truly
Yep.
honest with that, taking
Mm-hmm.
personal responsibility for your progress and
Yeah.
honoring what that means for you first and
Right.
foremost.
Right. That's right.
Not not anybody else's opinion, but just you yourself.
Exactly.
And then third, branching out from yourself and helping others who may be struggling with something similar, finding support groups. That's what came up to me, finding people who you can actually confide in, find that support, and then grow
Yes.
strength from there. I think this
Yeah.
is amazing. I love these three steps. I love it. I love it. Wow. I think this will definitely help some people really like think about how they can reset or reframe their mind each and every day. I mean, it's a process.
Yes.
This kind of work that it takes a personal work, self-love. I mean, it's on a daily basis we have to give ourselves like little ounces of it for it to stick, for like the
Yeah.
long term change. This is not the short term, right?
No.
For the long term. And that's something
Mm-hmm.
we came up earlier in our discussion before we went live is what can we do for ourselves to sustain this change on a long term
That's
trajectory.
right.
So
Mm-hmm.
I think this is powerful. I love it.
Thank
I love it. I love
you.
it. Wow. So before we head off, do you have any other bits of advice you want to share? Anything you want to share about your story and what you've been through recently?
I would say that recently, I finally realized, like initially I thought that maybe I want to be like competitive gamer, maybe get into esports, and that's still a possibility. But maybe what I enjoy doing more is to just create fun gaming content. I don't have to compete against anybody else but myself.
Nice. I love that. That's awesome.
So that's actually a pretty big shift in my mindset now. because before I was thinking, okay, well, wow, this is so tough for me. I'm not doing amazing. Yes, I'm doing okay, but I'm not doing amazing compared to other gaming talent out there. Like I was like, okay, what else can I do in my life? And then the other thing that's interesting is like, well, it's not. I don't have to just be stuck with that. I can also, go back to doing what I'm good at, which is speaking and inspiring
Mm.
people. So, if I could integrate that, and one of the ideas I came up with is to like do like a weekly session similar to what we're doing today, and have people like jump into the stream and just ask me anything that they want help with in their life.
I love that. Well, I'll get that information from you before we part ways, so I can put that in my community if they want to join your live stream and be a part of it and just be inspired by you. Like, you're truly inspiring. So for people to know, I just connected with William last month, and I intuitively just felt inclined to reach out to him and to see if he would be a guest on my show, and he was kind enough to say yes. So William, thank you so much for sharing your experiences, what you've been through, tying it all together for everyone, giving everyone some manageable steps to follow going through this process. I mean, this is great stuff. This is really great, and I really appreciate your time being here.
You're welcome. So if you want to reach out to me, feel free to send me a message on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter.
Nice. All right. To my community, I hope you enjoyed this discussion. This is recorded, so I will be posting it soon. But until then, please take care, and we can't wait to have another discussion next month with a new guest. Thank you so much, William, for being here. I'm so excited that you got to perform with Ricky Martin. I think that's great.
Yeah,
I was
it
like,
was a dream. It was a dream come true. Yeah, and the way it happened, it was so surprising too. Like because Ricky Martin actually mentioned that he wanted to perform with me like 4 to 5 times throughout the past 15 years. And then it didn't happen until like 2 years ago, when he mentioned my name again on a radio station in Los Angeles. And then didn't hear, well, I wasn't the first person to hear it. One of my friends called me right away, like, wow, it sounds like he's serious about this. You might want to go follow up with the radio station. And then when I called in with the radio station, he connected me with Ricky Martin's manager,
what?
and, and that's how everything happened. Isn't that incredible?
That's amazing. I love that. I
Yeah,
love that. I love that. That's awesome that you had that opportunity and you were just able to live out your dream. I mean, that's great. And you're creating a new one and you're living it again too. So
that's
you are
right.
continuing to inspire people live and doing what you do. Thank you so much again for being on this call with me. To my community again, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and I will be posting William's information for you if you guys want to reach out to him and join his live stream.
All right, thank you.